So Asmon Gold beat me to the punch. Well, actually, I'm not gonna say beat me to the punch, but he talked about it today while I was getting ready to make this video. So and went away. He did beat me to the punch. But what I'm gonna talk about is the whole AI stuff, because I was watching a video from one of the creators that do video production and recording and stuff like that. Like, he focuses on like how to do it for YouTube, but his main thing is how to record videos, how to produce videos and stuff like that, how to do video editing and stuff like that. And reason that what he said that got me thinking was, he said that AI is advancing really fast and he doesn't know what the outcome of it's gonna how the outcome of it's gonna look, but like he did, it's not gonna replace a lot of people in the industry. It's gonna maybe have a small impact. It's not gonna do a whole lot to the industry. And I was just thinking that is completely naive and that makes no sense, because we already see a lot of the industries that AI impacted, how much of the industry they replaced. First thing we're going to do is we start with copy editing, just writing advertisements and stuff like that for people. A lot of the copy editing industry is completely replaced. It's not slightly impacted, it is completely gone. Big companies aren't hiring copy editors anymore. They just input it into ChatGPT and get in a text prompt back. They input in their styles that they want and get in the text back into that style. They even put in all the copies they've done for previous clients into the system to train their AI, and then they can use that to give them a customized style of the copy edit they want. That's already done. Graphic design, it's already happened in graphic design. I saw a video a week or two ago about the guy talking about how he lost his job to AI, and what the company had done was they took all the work from the company, which is like years and years of his work and other people's work. They fed it into the AI and they created a profile for that company. So the company he worked for created a profile for themselves of all the kinds of graphic design they've used. So now when they have a client, they can just put in the description and everything they want, and it will output a actual print ready copy in the style of that company, tailored to whatever their clients hire them for. And as someone that uses Midjourney, which is probably what this company is using, it is very easy to do that. You input different images to create a style, and then when you ask it for something else, it'll reference those images to create whatever you want. And it creates a lot very fast. It creates 4 images at a time, and you can just run your prompt over and over until you get something you want. And you can run your prompt over and over. You may run your prompt 10 times in 10 minutes, and then you end up with 2 images that you want. But when you think about it, that's 10 minutes. It took you 10 minutes to get something you want, whereas before it will take you 6 hours. 10 minutes versus 6 hours. It doesn't matter that you had to run this over and over again and you have a whole bunch of stuff that you don't need. You just more than 10x your workflow and the speed at which you can create your job. And also, you don't even need the graphic designer anymore. All you need is somebody to actually input the prompt, which means the person that does your sales can actually just take your sales from a customer, take the information they give them, put it into your AI that you're using, and get the final product. No need for all the other people, just one person taking sales, giving the result, and boom, you're done. And the other thing that Asmon Gold talked about today is the big thing that just happened in one of the gaming communities, or the gacha game communities. I think it's Genshin Impact or one of the ones like that, is they replaced, I think, 4 or 5 of their voice actors that were causing an issue publicly, that are bringing politics in and all kinds of stuff into it. They replaced 5 of them, and a lot of people say at least 2 of them is going to be AI, and they are not sure if the entire cast of their game is going to be replaced with all the voice actors going to be replaced with AI voice actors instead, which just makes it seem like, well, yeah, of course. You think about it, because he talked about one of the actors that's like 1 hour of work for $600, and it's like, yeah, 1 hour of audio, $600, that's a lot. But you can get an AI voice actor even on a locally ran system like I use, such as Kokoro. It's not expressive, it's more for reading books, but 1 hour A 1 hour output is going to take you about 10 minutes. 10 minutes to go from input to output. 10 minutes. Ready to use? 10 minutes. No editing required, no going back, no copying stuff out, no deleting mistakes. Just 10 minutes. And if parts of the voice is not great and you don't like the first take, change the voice, run it again. Run it over again, change the voice, slow it down, speed it up, run it again. You don't really have to do that much work. And what it'll take you maybe an hour to do this, running it over again, changing the voice until you get what you want, maybe it takes you an hour. You don't even have to run the entire thing. You run a small section until you get the voice the way you want it, and then you run the entire 1 hour thing. Take you maybe an hour, hour and a half, and you get everything you want. Whereas a voice actor is going to take 5-6 hours to do the full recording, then another day or two to edit it down before they can produce it to you. So something that will take them 2 to 4 days to go and get back to you is going to take one person maybe an hour. So that's 3 industries that's already taken massive hits, where job losses are going to be massive in those industries, and it's going to be replaced by AI at a much lower cost, and in some cases at no cost, because some of these AI programs can run locally on the computer. For instance, I use Kokoro, and Kokoro runs locally on your computer. You don't need to have an online service to do it. You don't need to pay a monthly fee. You can literally just run it for as long as you want, which is what I do. I run it overnight to generate audiobooks that I use for one of my other channels, because they're sci-fi books that I want to read. And instead of reading them, I just listen to them on the go. But I generate 30 books in 4 hours. 30 different books, 4 hours, when I'm not there, when I'm sleeping or something like that. 30 books take up about 15, 16 hours of audio, and it's only 4 hours worth of processing time on my computer. Now, my computer doesn't have a GPU, but if it did, it would probably take a little bit less time. But the fact is, that is time and money that's saved. No money needed for service, and this can be done offline. So which means even if you're on the go, you can still do it. Even if you're in a place where you can't access to the internet, you can still do it. And not only is it Kokoro or voice acting that's done like that, there are many, many, many programs that are open source, so you don't have to pay for them, that generate video and images. And the thing about it is, a lot of these programs that generate the video and images, if you actually work with the company that does this open source work, you can have them customize it for you. You can have them build you a different interface. You can have them actually use your content to input to train the AI off that content. So you can actually have a studio that gives them hundreds of images, some video clips from all the work their studio has done, and the AI will train off that and use that style of images and that style of video to generate when it generates, so that you won't barely be able to tell the difference between something that was older and something that's brand new that's generated by the AI. Now, finally, what brings me to the last part is addressing the video section. Google just announced their VEO, I think it's pronounced VEO, VEO, their interface to generate video. It generates like between 30, I think between 8 and 30 seconds, or 8 to a minute of video, and it generates this video quickly, realistically, and it's hard to tell when it generates video that looks bad, because it generates video that looks like commercial ready use. They had a example of a commercial where the guy used it to generate an actual commercial for pharmaceutical commercial for a meme thing, which is like puppy pheromone thing. So it was a meme, it was funny, but it worked. It looked realistic. You could barely tell the difference between the fact that it was AI generated or shot with actors that was just dubbed over the voice so that they could have a funny commercial, basically. A lot of people are talking about it and they're saying, well, this is version 1, inviting like the next version and all this stuff. It's not version 1, it's like the 4th version. And yes, imagine as it goes on, how much more elaborate and how much more complicated it's going to be, and how much easier it's going to be to generate more and more stuff. There is quite a lot of these AI stuff that already exists that's not in the mainstream. For instance, that the VO1 is really advanced and it looks it's really scary when you think about it when it comes to video generation and people that make videos. That's pretty scary, but it is not actually the coolest one that I've seen. The coolest one that I've seen is actually quite a bit older, and that's from a couple months ago. I saw the video on it on one of the AI channels where the guys were talking about it. They are actual VFX people that created this AI or work to create the AI, and what it does is it replaces stuff in the scene. So basically, if you came into the scene, you can have it regenerate the scene and create different things and overlay you and replace you with something else. There's a bunch of AIs that already do this, but this one is specialized for video production in long videos, not a couple of seconds, like a whole half an hour video basically is what it specializes for. So this is like, these things are like next level stuff. There are tools, they don't replace people. Those are tools that still require actors and stuff. But VO from Google doesn't require anything but an input where you can create a commercial. And the example that was given was the guy that created the commercial for $500 created a full commercial. And any big company will jump at this to create a commercial using AI for $500 or $1,000 to pay a voice actor, not even a voice actor, just to pay somebody to basically go through, create the video, and give it back to them, because there's a lot of AI that will help them with the creation, and it cuts down the time by a ton. And one of the things that wasn't mentioned in this is not just type in a prompt and you get like a video back and you're done. Now you do require like a little bit of actual extra work. So you have to get different videos together. You have to put them in a timeline of a video editor, and then you have to add the voices and edit the voices and all this stuff. And then I'll put the final thing. But the funny thing is that's not talked about is all this stuff is already starting to be automated. DaVinci Resolve version 20, which is their latest version that just came out, has AI tools for all of this. There's an AI tool to dub your audio, so it can not line up your audio with your video, but it will dub your audio and music to make it clear so that you have your music in the background and your voices out front, and it pops it so that it's clear to hear your audio from your voice and still clear to hear the video audio from like the background or the background music. It also has a section where you can input the actual script, and then you input all the video and you hit enter, you let it run, and what it'll do is it'll go through the video clips you have and it'll put them in order to match your script based on the video, what's in the video and the audio from the video. So it'll create a rough draft for you, but you just have to go back and clean up a little bit. So now you can go and with a couple $100, $1,000, you can create a full Hollywood level commercial. No actors, no voice actors. You don't even need the actual product you're advertising. You just need a picture of it, and that's it. You are done. In one day, you can have all this stuff put together and ready to go. And the thing is, it's minimal effort from the person doing the work. It has completely replaced everyone. All you need is one person to do what used to take an entire team of people to do. But there's still those people that think, well, it still requires me to do this, so I'm still going to have my job and it's still going to be perfectly fine because I'm still needed to do this. And the thing is, not really. If you look at the history of just this planet and all the history of advancements in anything, we could just start with farming, the most basic thing. Farming used to be a lot harder. Usually, back in the times of, even you can read this in the Bible, back in that time when it was time for harvest, they would have people that harvested the crops that didn't work for the farmer, that didn't work with the farmer. They were just people that came by and they would harvest the crops so that they could have food to eat themselves. And they would take a section of what they harvested, because you can't leave fruit crops in the field unharvested, because then it becomes harder the next time you go to plant, because you have to cut it down and all this stuff like that. There's a big reason, but you just can't leave unharvested crops. You have to harvest them all. So the excess people wouldn't make a living doing this. They would be able to provide for themselves and have food at that time just by that. Now, as time went on and things got more advanced, we got like, you got more advancements and more technology that helped with harvesting. You needed less of these people. And all the way up to today, modern times, you don't need any of these people. Harvesting is done, farming is done by 2 or 3 people to do acres worth of land. One person drives a tractor that completely harvests for him. He doesn't have to worry about people showing up and helping with the harvest. He has a tractor and he can do the harvesting by himself. But people lost their jobs. The jobs didn't like evolve. The people didn't evolve with the jobs. They couldn't just get new training and get this job. No, the amount of jobs dramatically decreased. It went from needing 100 people to needing 2. But the thing was, the 2 people it needed weren't the people that were working for them. It was the owners, and they're the ones that kept all the profit. They kept doing everything by themselves. They didn't hire 2 new people or hire 2 people from the people that worked there from that 100. No, they just fired all 100 and they got 2 people. Either they did it themselves or they hired 2 people that knew how to do it, because the people in the farm weren't there to do it. Another analogy is the art world. Back in times of kings, there was always portraits, and there was artists that painted those portraits. Now, as time went on and technology got more advanced, we ended up with cameras. Now, did the people that painted the portraits ended up being photographers? No, this is a whole new breed of people, a whole new industry of photographers who were there when photography started. The people that did portraits, they may have transitioned to photography afterwards, but most of them did not, because most of them couldn't keep up with the technology. They couldn't get into it fast enough after they realized the industry had changed. Basically, they couldn't get into it fast enough, so they were pretty much just completely replaced. That's what we're seeing now. AI is replacing a lot of jobs, and people are saying, well, it's not going to replace you completely. But the thing is, it is going to replace you completely, because the people required to do the job as AI replaces you is not going to be the person that was in that job originally. It's going to be somebody else that has the skill to use the AI for the function they need it for. Graphic designers aren't going to keep their job as a graphic designer when somebody comes in to do it with AI, because they're no longer necessary. Their skill set does not directly transfer to AI. And if they cannot use the tools in the same manner, their skill set will not transfer correctly. So yeah, that's what I wanted to think about, because it's funny how a lot of things are changing rapidly and people are getting scared and people are like not panicking. They're like, oh, everything's gonna be fine. Everything's gonna be fine because I'm not replaceable. At this point, yes, you are. And the thing is not that AI is not completely going to replace you and there won't be people in those job fields anymore. It's the original people from that job field is going to be gone. That's the thing that a lot of people don't seem to realize, is the original people of that job is going to be completely gone. It's not just going to be replaced completely and just have AIs running everything. No, it's going to have new people running stuff, and the people that were there before is going to be gone, because your specialized skill in this area is no longer needed. Instead, a different specialized skill is needed, and you either have to be trained for this new specialized skill, or you get replaced by somebody that's already trained in this specialized skill. And the fact of the matter is, there are a lot of people that's already trained themselves in this specialized skill, because you were saying this will never happen, while other people were like, this is probably going to happen, so I'll start training now. So now the problem is going to be, now who's going to be on top now? There's going to be a lot of people that's going to start falling off, a lot of jobs, a lot of industries that's going to start changing, and it's going to change rapidly and hard. And it will definitely add to the economic impact a lot to the world right now. It's not going to be an economic boom. It's going to be more of a recession worldwide, as a lot of people that do production and a lot of people that do work changes from one hand to the next, and it's going to change hard and fast. But that's about it. I just hope everyone's ready for what's coming. It's going to be a wild ride at the end of this year to see all the changes that's going to come up, especially with all these companies pushing so hard for AI advancement without taking the time to realize what's going to happen. Because with a lot of people going out of work, their profit is going to start dropping, because who's going to be buying your stuff and who's going to be using all the stuff that you're producing if nobody has a job? Like, who's going to be buying a brand new car if no one has a job? That's just the way it's going to be. And a lot of people think it's going to be people flood the trades back, but at the same time, even if you flood the trades back, who's still going to buy a brand new car? Why would I buy a brand new $150,000 car when I could fix the car that I have for $2,000 myself in a weekend? That makes no sense. $150,000 debt over $2,000 debt does not make any sense, especially when a lot of people that go into these trades can make their old car look better than new cars and last longer than brand new cars. So skilled trades is going to go up. These other trades are going to go down. The economy and the way the world functions is about to pretty much do a head turn. Things are going to go crazy. And we don't even know exactly what's going to happen, especially with AI coming into the mainstream. And it's not like everyone's going to have instant access to AI, because it's quite expensive to use this stuff. I pay for Midjourney every single month. The computer I use is very expensive, and it's not even top of the line. It's very expensive, and it can't even run a lot of AI software super quickly. So when you think about that, a lot is going to change, and a lot's going to change really quickly. Anyway, that's all it is for today. I'll see you guys later.